Hello ladies, it's me Indigo again. If you do see me looking down, it's because I'm going to be referring to notes tonight. The only reason I'm coming on here tonight is to answer a couple questions that I did receive as far as the embryo adoption program that I'm choosing to use. Now, you may see one of my fur babies. I have two of them. You may see one of my fur babies run by. Like I said, I am at home. Oh, and I do apologize about the lighting. This is as good as I can get it until I get a diva light. But you can see me, I can see you. So I guess this will work a little bit. Okay? All right. So what I wanted to bring to the table today, originally I was going to use another program in the state of North Carolina. Let me give you a little bit of backstory. I'm from Pennsylvania. When I did my original IVF, I did my original IVF at Pennsylvania at Penn State Milton Hershey Hospital. The same hospital, if you remember, John and Kate plus 8, the same hospital that they had their IVF procedure that produced all their children, is the same program that I went through. That's why it was such a steep amount of money, because they are renowned as one of the best IVF programs in the United States. So with that being said, we moved from Pennsylvania to North Carolina because we knew that the IVF procedure was actually cheaper in North Carolina. When we originally came to North Carolina, our goal was to do IVF. What we were going to do is recipient IVF, which means I was going to take my wife's embryo, who's still in her 30s, and place it in me so that we could do IVF. So it would still be genetically connected to both of us. But then after discussing it with the doctor and discussing what our options were, we decided that embryo adoption would be the best option for us. It is not for everybody. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but I'm just saying this tends to be the best option for us. If you see me keep looking this way, that is because I'm looking at my fur babies, making sure they're not getting into anything. So I do apologize. Anyway, back to this. Okay, so the original program that I was going to use was, the price was $5,500, and it seemed like it was going to be the best program. It was going to be cheap. Everything was going to go up. But as they always say, you get what you pay for. I contacted them in April in regards to doing their embryo adoption program, and I waited. I didn't hear anything back. Then I finally called back again at the first week of May, and I was told, well, we don't respond back to you until you do a profile on our site. So my wife and I sat down, we did the profile that they asked us to do, and we were told in that phone call that it could be an 18-month process. So we were like, okay. That was the first week in May. To date, which is July the 9th, 2019, I'm always getting these years messed up. We still haven't heard anything from them. Nothing. Our profile was done basically 8 weeks ago, and we still haven't heard back from that program. So with me doing all the investigating and things that I was doing, I came across the program that I'm currently going to use. Now, the program that I'm using is Carolina Conceptions. Now, Carolina Conceptions is only an $1,100 price difference between the other program that I was going to use and Carolina Conceptions. Carolina Conceptions price is $6,600 for the program. But let me tell you what I liked about Carolina Conceptions. I literally called on a Tuesday. I had an appointment for not that Thursday, but the following Thursday. So basically 9 days later, I had an appointment. I met with Dr. Bowling. She's amazing. She's really, really nice. She's upfront. She's honest about what your options are. She's not going to try to sell you something that, you just can't buy. We were still looking at the IVF. The IVF was still on the table. But like I said, with my age and every other factor that we had involved, including finances, we decided that embryo adoption was the way to go for us. Now, in my last video, I had said IVF 1 and 2. It's actually, what am I trying to say? HIV 1 and 2. So I'm gonna tell you what the testing would be for you if you decide to go with this program. So, as a recipient, you're going to get a psychological evaluation, which we already set up. That's a private psychological evaluation. Some insurance pay for it, some insurance don't. If your insurance doesn't pay for it, it's going to run you $265. Okay. Where we went to get ours done. That's what it's going to run you. You're also going to have to do a urine evaluation, a sonogram, along with the HSG if indicated. Meaning they just want to check your uterus, they want to check your fallopian tubes, they want to check and make sure everything's going to be okay. Now, if you don't have insurance that'll pay for it, that's going to run you about $900. Just kind of giving you a financial breakdown of what you're looking at paying in addition to the embryo adoption. So, yes, the fee for the embryo adoption is $6,600. But in addition, these are things that you're going to have to get done. Or, most insurances do pay for it. If your insurance doesn't pay for it, these aren't really expensive things. The most expensive thing is going to be the HSG. Everything else is pretty straightforward, something you have to have done every year, or you should be tested for regardless. Okay, your infectious disease screenings are HTLV 1 and 2, CM, that's for men. We, as the female, will go through HIV 1 and 2, hepatitis B and C, rubella, syphilis, chlamydia, gonorrhea, antibody screen, and blood type Rh factor. So those are a breakdown of all the testing that you're going to have done and have submitted to them before you move on to the next process, okay? You're also with us because we are a same-sex couple. In the state of North Carolina, they will put both our names on the birth certificate. However, whoever does not deliver has to adopt the baby to be their legal parent, which makes no sense to me if your name's already on the birth certificate, but that's just what they told me we had to do. So we also have to go through a legal consultation. Once I called them and found out how that was just $1,000, so it was nothing outrageous. If you have to go through that step, I have to go through that step because, like I said, we are a same-sex couple. Okay, so now here's the question that everybody seems to have for me. At my program, now this is my program, this is not all programs, this is my program. The deposit was only $250 to get the process started. So my initial consult was $250. My security to start the program was $250. So out of pocket to date, what I've spent at Carolina Conceptions is $500. The first for the consultation, secondly to be placed on the waiting list. Now, the waiting list, like I referred to in the last video, is 4 to 8 months. Now let me explain that. The reason it's 4 to 8 months is because there is a list above you. I happen to be number 30 on the list, and they're telling me that within 8 months, I will be matched and have an embryo, if not sooner. And the reason that it's sooner, and this is sad to say, a lot of people don't want African American embryos. A lot of people don't want biracial embryos. A lot of people want embryos that are going to have blonde hair and blue eyes like they, or just other factors. Now, my wife and I are going with a biracial embryo or an African American embryo. And the reason being, I am a mutt. I have everything in me and a little bit more. My wife is biracial. So that just makes for the baby to look more like our families. So because we're not being really picky, like we said, we take African American or biracial, that makes our number kind of go up the list a little faster, if that makes any sense to you, because those embryos tend to be more readily available than the average asked for embryo. At this point, I just want to be a mother. I mean, if they came to me tomorrow and said, hey, we have this embryo, I'm going to take the embryo because I just want to be a mother. So I'm not being picky. So that's what's probably going to make the process faster for me. And this is what the doctor also told me too, because we're not being picky. We're not saying, oh, it has to look like this, has to be this, it has to be mixed with this, it has to be mixed with that. No, we definitely are not going that route. We just want a healthy embryo that can go back in. Now, at Carolina Conceptions, the one thing I don't like, they only put back one embryo at a time. But like I said in my last video, that also says they just don't want multiples because the success rate with embryo adoption is so much higher than IVF. So they're trying to cut back on the multiples. Now, I just want to make sure, okay, if I do have this child and a year later I decide I want to get pregnant again and do this again, I want them to kind of be siblings. So my question was, can I get, if there's multiple embryos available, can I have at least 2 of those embryos? So if I get pregnant the first time and get pregnant the second time, and I was told that's something that is an option. So that my children are genetically at least siblings. Okay, so the pricing is not bad. And here's another option. It is $6,600. You do not have to pay that all at once. You don't have to pay it until you get matched with an embryo. Then you have to go through something like a nurse's course that's just going to explain the whole process to you, what you're about to go through. When you are signed up for that, at that point is when you pay the remainder of what to do. But here's the good thing. You can make payments to them. Like, that's what we decided to do. You know, we paid more than what the deposit was. And every time one of us gets paid, we just call them up here. Here's our credit card number. Take XYZ. That way, it's not a shock at the end when we have to pay this money, because there are other factors that we're paying for in the same time. Like I said, the HIV testing, the rubella testing, the chlamydia. Oh, I have to, because I am over 40, I have to get a mammogram. I think I mentioned that in the last video, but I'm just just restating that again, just so you know, because I'm over 40, I have to have a mammogram that I have to send over to them. I also have to have my yearly, which everybody gets every year. So that's something that's straightforward. All that testing, they're allowing me to do somewhere else. Now, another question I had was, do they work with customers or patients that are from out of state? Yes. I technically live on the other side of North Carolina from where they are. Their offices are actually about 2 hours from me. And I did my consultation locally because they do come to my area twice a month. So I did my consultation here, but I would have drove to where they were at to do my consultation. So let me put that out there first. They will deal with anybody who's willing to do their program. Here's another plus. I can do all my monitoring locally. Where I'm at here, my local doctor or the local fertility clinic here is in partnership with them, so that I can do all my pre-testing here. Meaning, you know, checking my uterus lining, making sure that everything's working. This is what I'm saying, because you're doing the end stages of IVF. This is just the monitoring that you have to do at that point. Can be done here locally or locally where you're at. They will just send it, as long as your doctor's office is willing to work with them, they're willing to work with anybody. The only time that you would have to come into their office is when you're actually going to do the procedure, meaning when the egg will be placed back in you, unless you want to go other times. Like I am going to have an HSG done to make sure that my uterus is still looking well, to make sure all that. So I'm opting for an HSG, and I'm opting for them to do it in their clinic, because then that way they have the results in their hand. They don't have to wait for a result to come from someone else. They don't have results that are questionable, and I've paid for it at this place, and I could have done it at that place. So because of that, I'm choosing to do certain things there, but they are more than open to patients being other places. I just felt that their program was so straightforward, and the people that I have worked with thus far, literally I called and was put on the schedule June 20th. I met with the doctor June 20th. She told me somebody from her doctor's office was going to reach out to me by Monday. Technically, they reached out to me the next day. The next day, I paid my deposit. Everything was faxed to me that I needed to do. I've started the process. I paid, like I said, I paid that deposit that day. When I paid that deposit that day, I automatically went on that list. They sent me confirmation that I'm on the list. They sent me what my number is. And as your number goes up the list, they also let you know that. So that lets you know they're doing quite a bit a month. If they're saying that in 4 to 8 months, and I'm number 30, that I will have an embryo. So that lets me know by Christmas, I could possibly be pregnant. Hopefully a little before Christmas, so that would be a great Christmas gift to be like, hey, everybody, I'm pregnant. Well, I probably wouldn't even tell anybody until my 12th week anyway, but just for me, that would be a great, amazing Christmas gift, great way to walk into 2020. And like I said, this is something that I really had to do fast. As a matter of fact, my birthday was just this past Saturday. So on the 7th of July was my birthday. So I'm not getting any younger. I'm definitely getting older. I didn't want a program where I was going to have to wait around for a year and a half to find out what was going on. And the funny part about that is I don't know if you guys see on Facebook, but there's a fertility clinic called CNY. I think their IVF is like $3,500. I actually called them back in March to get on their list. I don't have a consultation with them until December the 9th. December the 9th. Hopefully by December the 9th, I'm getting a positive pregnancy test from Carolina Conceptions. I have reviewed them. I've looked at their reviews. I have looked at their statistics, and success rates are amazing. So I'm not just trying to throw them out there and say, hey, they're great because I'm going there. I'm just going off of reviews. I have not gotten pregnant by them. I have not done their program before, but just what I'm seeing now, I can't say that I have any problems. Everybody's been nice. They've been very straightforward. They told me what not to waste my money on and what to waste, because like I said, fertility treatments can be very, very expensive. And I know that from the first time when I did my IVF. And like I said, we were financially devastated. We are going with an option that we feel like if it doesn't work the first time, we can truly do it the second time. And like I said, what I like about them, because they allow you to make the payments as you go. You've got 8 months to come up with, $6,000. Like if you pay $500 a month and then at the end that's $4,000, then at the end just pay the rest, that's fine. Where our goal is to just pay it all beforehand, because we still have to pay for some medications, just the ending medications, like probably the progesterone and stuff to keep the pregnancy viable at that point. But like I said, I just wanted to stop on here. I just wanted to answer some of your questions. I hope that I was able to answer some of your questions. Like I said, if you like this video, please hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring the bell so that you know anytime that I am uploading anything new. Like I said, my goal is to try to upload videos twice a week. That is what my goal is going to be. And so far so good. I actually have my yearly and my mammogram appointment scheduled for later this week. So I'll be getting that part out of the way so that I can go ahead and send that off to them. So if you have any other questions, please leave them down in the comments. I will definitely try to get back to you as soon as possible to answer those questions for you. Like I said, once again, I do apologize about the lighting, but I'm in my dining room and this lighting is not the best until I get my Diva light and it's a little bit better. But once again, my name is Indigo. I hope that you liked this video. I hope this video was informative. I hope this video answered your questions about the program that I'm using. There are several programs out there. They all work a little differently. I just like this program because it was straightforward. It wasn't going to take me 1.5 years to get pregnant. I really don't have 1.5 years. Hopefully in 1.5 years I've been delivered and hopefully pregnant again so that I can at least have 2 children so that my first child has a sibling. Like I said, I am in my 40s. I am working towards the 50s. I am truly just trying to be a parent, to be a mother. I hope that this video was informative. Thank you guys for watching. Can't wait to talk to you guys again. Thank you. Have a good night.